The woman was married and lived a stable, comfortable life built on routine, trust, and shared habits. Her marriage was widely considered a happy one. The couple had learned each other's rhythms over the years, how silence could be restful rather than tense, how small gestures could replace grand displays, how familiarity could deepen instead of fading. Their home was modest but warm, arranged with care and maintained with quiet pride. Every Saturday evening followed a familiar pattern. After the workweek ended, the husband and several of his co-workers gathered at the house. The purpose was both practical and social. Instead of spending money at mahjong parlors, they rotated informal games at one another's homes. The arrangement saved fees, allowed longer sessions, and provided the comfort of home-cooked meals. At this house, the gatherings were especially popular because the woman was known for her cooking. She prepared generous dishes, savory snacks, hot rice plates, and slow-simmered stews, and placed them on the table between rounds. The mahjong tiles clicked and slid across the table for hours. Bottles opened gradually. Laughter rose and fell in waves. The gatherings were loud but not disorderly, competitive but friendly. The woman rarely played. She moved between the kitchen and living room, refilling plates, clearing glasses, and occasionally watching the board with mild interest. Long ago, she had been highly skilled at the game, but she treated that past as something finished, not something to display. On one particular Saturday night, the gathering began as usual. The men arrived in relaxed moods, coats hung, sleeves rolled, phones silenced. The early rounds were steady and controlled. Small bets. Casual teasing. Familiar rhythms. The woman prepared food in stages, timing each dish so that nothing went cold. Outside, the night air was cool and still. Inside, the room was bright and warm. Midway through the evening, the husband received an urgent work call. A problem at the office required immediate attention. His expression changed from relaxed to tense within seconds. He apologized to the group, gathered his things quickly, and prepared to leave. The game could not continue properly with a missing seat. Rather than end the night, he asked his wife to sit in temporarily and maintain the rotation until he returned. She hesitated at first but agreed to help for a short time. The substitution was meant to be temporary and harmless, simply to keep the table complete and the evening intact. After he left, the atmosphere slowly shifted. The alcohol level at the table rose. One coworker in particular became louder and more reckless. His betting behavior escalated beyond the friendly range that had defined earlier rounds. The wagers increased in size and frequency. What had been a social game began to take on sharper edges. The woman noticed the change immediately. Her posture became more guarded. She suggested lowering the stakes and keeping the game casual. The suggestion was brushed aside. The others encouraged continuation. They reminded her of her past reputation as a skilled mahjong player. They described her as far more experienced than any of them. They framed the situation as safe, predictable, almost guaranteed in her favor. Pressure formed not through force but through confidence and repetition. They insisted she would win easily. They described it as an opportunity rather than a risk. The drunken coworker continued raising stakes with careless enthusiasm. The woman did not accept immediately. She required one condition before agreeing to continue under higher wagers. She insisted on informing her husband first. She stepped away from the table, placed a video call, and explained the situation in full. She described the increased bets, the encouragement from the table, and her intention to proceed only with his awareness. The husband, seeing the situation from afar, reacted with visible distress. Distance made intervention impossible. Work obligations kept him physically trapped. The delay between warning and action widened his anxiety. He understood the financial risk and the unpredictable behavior of intoxicated players. He feared escalation, misunderstanding, and loss. Yet he could not return quickly enough to stop the game. After the call ended, the woman returned to the table with a calm expression. She took her seat fully now, not as a placeholder, but as a player. Her demeanor changed from polite host to focused competitor. The casual softness left her eyes. Her hands arranged tiles with practiced precision. Her attention narrowed to patterns, probabilities, and memory. The room grew quieter as the rounds progressed. Alcohol-driven confidence began to fade against disciplined play. The woman calculated discards carefully. She tracked exposed tiles and unseen combinations. Her earlier reluctance transformed into methodical control. The drunken coworker grew more aggressive and less accurate. Risk replaced strategy on his side of the table. Hours passed. Plates went untouched. Conversation thinned. The clicking of tiles became the dominant sound again, but now it carried tension rather than playfulness. The stakes that once felt exaggerated began to feel real. Near dawn, the final rounds concluded. Accounts were settled. The table cleared slowly. The co-workers left one by one, quieter than they had arrived. The house returned to stillness. Morning light entered through the curtains as the husband finally returned home, exhausted and tense from both work and worry. He expected distress, conflict, or damage control. Instead, he found the house orderly. The table was clean. The woman moved through the kitchen preparing breakfast with her usual composure. The outcome surprised him completely. The high-stakes game had ended in her favor. The winnings exceeded the total risk taken during the reckless escalation. The crisis he had feared had resolved in the opposite direction. Relief replaced dread, though disbelief lingered alongside it. The weekend resumed its quiet pace. From the outside, nothing appeared unusual. Yet the night had revealed hidden layers, of skill long unused, of risk taken under pressure, and of calm maintained under scrutiny. The mahjong tiles were stored again in their case, waiting for another Saturday, their silent surfaces holding the memory of a night when chance, discipline, and nerve had met across a table and decided an unexpected ending. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications, so you can watch more videos like this. Thank you for watching.